Well, today's horseradish day, YouTubers. This is what horseradish looks like after it's been dug and hosed off out in the yard. It's still got some dirt on it that I need to clean up. The next step is going to be washing it here in the sink, and I'll use a little brush to get it cleaner. And then I'll probably cut it off into straight pieces so that I can peel it. And then after I peel it, I will make sure all the little dark spots and bad spots are out of it. And we'll come back to the video real quick. Well, that didn't take long now, did it? There it is, all cleaned up. These odd shaped ones are the ones that give you a hard time, but they produce a lot of horseradish. I use our La Machine 2, and I have the grater attachments up. So first I grate it, run it through there, and it's just grated. And then I'll put the chopping blade on it, which is somewhere around here. It's right here. And I chop it up, and I don't know what I'm doing, so I just chop it up to the consistency of the horseradish that you buy in the store. It's kind of grainy looking, and then I add a little bit of white vinegar to it. We'll get to that. You have some chunks that got through, but most of it's grated up. There's a chunk. Most of it's grated up, about like, looks like mozzarella cheese. So now I'll start putting it back in there and use my chopper and chop it up to the consistency that I think looks right. Holy cow. Okay, I've estimated about how much it'll take to fill a jar. Probably got a little more in there. We're going to chop it up now. That's about the consistency that you want it, I think. Now I'll add some white vinegar to it until it looks right to me. I used apple cider vinegar once, and it kind of turns brown as it gets a little older. This stuff lasts a long time in the fridge. Might have got just a little bit too much in there, but it won't hurt anything. Let me get a spoon. This stuff is so good. is worth all this to get this stuff if you got a little bit of a cold. This stuff is so good. It's got a really sweet taste to it, but it will knock your socks off. Oh, it's good. If you have a cold, just a little bit on a spoon like that, that'll clear your head out in a heartbeat. Woo! Boy, is it good. Daggone it. I love that stuff. You can't buy it in the store. It's just like everything else that we do in our home preps. It's has so much more flavor and so much more. The horseradish just it'll knock your socks off. It's got so much, I don't know what you call it, the fumes. Man, it's good to, whew. All done. These 2 jars are jars that store-bought horseradish came in, and I saved those. Since I'm not really canning, I figure it's okay to use a jar like that. I did boil everything since it's not getting heated up canning wise, so I boil everything and then I'll put it in the fridge. Over here I have what I've peeled and pieces I didn't want to use. Like this in here looked like a good one, but it's kind of, I had to take it down to where it was almost nothing left to get past all the little bruisey looking things or discolored spots, so I just tossed it. I'll take these back out to the garden and bury them, spread it out and bury it and cover it up, so that this stuff here I think sprouts again, and it'll expand my horseradish patch. But it's a pretty rainy day out there today. I went out between rains to dig this and it was all muddy. But I got one more segment to do on this, so I'll get to that. This is how I got started eating horseradish. When I was a little kid, I was under less than 10 years old, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. And every now and then, wasn't very often, Grandpa would sit down at the breakfast bar and get out the saltine crackers and some Swiss cheese or some ring bologna or whatever, and he'd sit there and slice it up, put it on the cracker, and put a little mustard or horseradish on it. And I'd sit down at the bar with him and we'd have us a little snack. Good old days. Miss my grandpa and grandma. You can't beat this. Man, that's good. You need to start your horseradish patch. Takes a few years to get it good and established so you can start harvesting it. I'm going to start another one. I'm going to have 2 different ones. That way I can harvest from one patch one year and the other patch and switch it off every year. It is just so good. They say you can harvest it in months, that have an R in it. So it's from September to April. Some people harvest it all year round, but I guess it gets really potent during the summer. Plus, you know, my patch isn't big enough. I want it to grow. So I only harvest once a year, and I usually wait till there's an R in the month. Hope you enjoyed it.